If you rely on motivation, you've already lost. The traders who win focus on building value, removing friction, and letting their own discipline snowball. When most traders are out seeking more motivation and trying to stay motivated to get better trading results, the top 1% of traders are focusing in on these three things: value, the snowball effect, and friction removal. Motivation is an external force, either through pleasure or through pain. If we're reliant on motivation, there has to be some sort of pleasurable outcome or some sort of reward that is presented to us for us to be extrinsically pushed or pulled towards a certain outcome. Or there has to be some sort of pain that we will receive if we don't do that certain thing. The issue with motivation is that it's built around this animalistic desire to seek after pleasure and avoid pain. Seek pleasure and avoid pain. The only issue with using motivation to pursue your trading goals is that motivation works perfectly fine when you're winning and you're having good trading results and you're getting payouts and you're passing your funded challenges. But the moment the inevitable pains and challenges come through in the journey, the drawdown, the losses, the failed funded challenges, and these are all an inevitable part of the journey because you're trading a probability model. Wins and losses are both encompassed in that. The moment the drawback and the loss comes into the equation, it becomes very difficult to stay motivated. So traders, for some point in time, they have a level of motivation, they're doing well, and they feel like they're on fire. But the moment those inevitable losses and inevitable pains come through, they cannot sustain the journey and they end up burning out. So instead of being reliant on motivation, you want to focus on building value and focusing on pursuing things that are of value to you. Let's say, for example, the goal is to become a consistently profitable trader. There's really two baskets of consistently profitable traders. The first one is traders that love trading and that's their end in mind. They love the technical analysis, the macroeconomics, the fundamental analysis. They love the game, the numbers, the statistics, the edge. They love probability theory. And these traders are pursuing trading for the love of trading because they truly deep down love it. And they love finance, they love leverage, they love all the factors that go into becoming a consistently profitable trader. And that's basket number one. There's also basket number two, where individuals are using traders as a means to an end. There's something deeper. They just want to utilize trading to get out of an uninspiring job so they can free themselves up to pursue a hobby, their health and fitness, for example. So trading can be utilized, its value can be utilized for one of those two purposes. It can be an end in mind and something that you deep down truly love. And the idea of being a fund manager or starting your own hedge fund or starting your own firm is the end goal in mind. Or trading can be there as a stepping stone to your end goal. And it can be a tool to help facilitate that end goal. Whatever it may be, you want to get clear on what trading is to you, what and why you want to become a consistently profitable trader. And really, value is about understanding why and the purpose and the mission behind your trading. Down here is very, very animalistic. Traders who are trading with motivation only stick around when they're winning. They only stick around when they're getting payouts. They only stick around when they're doing well. But the moment the inevitable pains and suffering and challenges come in as a trader, they give up on the journey and they throw in the towel. So if you want a short boom and bust cycle, you want to rely on motivation. You want to only seek after pleasure. But this is a one-sided fantasy state. The reality of trading, consistently profitable trading, is it encompasses both winning and losing. Getting funded and losing funded accounts, going on winning streaks and going into drawdown. Both sides of the equation are there when you're a consistently profitable trader. So instead of having motivation after this, focus on developing true deep down value as a consistently profitable trader. Understand, are you using it as an end in mind, or is it a means to an end to help you achieve another goal? Get clear on why you're trading and what's the purpose, what's the mission behind trading. And there's no right or wrong here. It's about what you're using trading for and what you're fulfilled to do. And recognize that being a consistently profitable trader encompasses both winning and losing. There's two sides to that. And if you can get clear on why you're trading, what purpose it serves in your life, and how you can utilize trading to help you fulfill that, and you recognize and embrace both sides of the trading journey, the wins and the losses, and you realize that being a consistently profitable trader has both pain and pleasure, and you're willing to pursue that because you've got such a deeply meaningful why, then guess what? You're no longer reliant on motivation. You're not only sticking around when things are doing well, but you're willing to embrace the other side of the journey in pursuit of your bigger mission. This here is a mission. You're more purpose driven with your trading. So what's wise to do, and what I encourage every single one of my traders to do, is find the most valuable and the most meaningful challenge you want to pursue as a trader. And maybe that's just the idea of mastering trading and scaling your accounts and making as much money as you can from your trading, to just out of a pure love for the game and mastering the statistical models behind it. And that may be what is most valuable and meaningful to you. Or there may be a different challenge that's more meaningful to you. Maybe you want to develop your trading so that you can go off and focus on your health and fitness, or you can focus on your spiritual quest, or you can focus on helping your parents in retirement, or being present with your kids when they're growing up. Maybe there's some other valuable, meaningful challenge behind the trading that you're using trading to pursue. But whatever it may be, don't go off pursuing this because you're going to get smacked by this. Go off and find the most meaningful challenge, the most meaningful and valuable challenge to you, and go off and pursue that. Maybe that's hitting a certain amount of payouts. Maybe that's holding a certain amount of funding. Maybe that's utilizing your trading to hit certain milestones in the other area of life that's valuable to you. But really, instead of seeking motivation over this, you want to focus on finding true meaning and value in your trading. And then once you get clear on the value, you'll have a clearer idea of what your specific goals are. Because your trading goals may be just trading goals to get a certain amount of funded accounts, maybe to get a certain percentage on average per month. It may be to get a certain payout limit, or it may be a certain payout limit to be able to fund X, Y, and Z. So once you're clear on why trading is valuable to you and the meaning behind it, you get more clear on your goals. And you want to take your goals and you want to start to chunk them down. Let's say, for example, your goal is to be a consistently profitable trader, on average, at least making 2% per month, and you want to be having a $200,000 in funding. So you want to take that particular goal and you want to break it down into major outcomes. Now, each of these goals and major outcomes and high priority actions, you need to have full control over. You need to be able to turn them into action steps that you have full control over. So you're in full control of achieving your goals. And maybe the first major outcome in this overall goal is to find a profitable edge. Then the next one is to build a mechanical trading plan. And then to master trading psychology. And then find the prop firms you want to utilize. And then once you have major outcomes, which is just a chunk down version of the goal, you then want to identify the high priority actions. The highest priority actions you can do every single day, that you can schedule in every day, that moves you one step closer to achieving each of the major outcomes. And then as a result of achieving the major outcomes, you achieve the goals. So you're taking the goal and you're breaking it down into its subcomponents. You're focusing on the subcomponents every single day and building momentum through high priority actions, because it's the consistent and persistent execution of these high priority actions that lead to great achievement. This is what leads to achieving your ultimate goal. And you can take these high priority actions, for example, intentional backtesting, testing 30 minutes a day the specific assets you trade to get clear on the entry models, the exit models, and the risk management. Once you got those, put it into your trading plan. Update and put together a trading plan. Then develop a pre-trade routine, post-trade routine, and then the next high priority action is every single day waking up, doing a forecast, planning your opportunities for the day, and setting alerts. So you get clear on the high priority actions that if you were to execute on, would eventually lead you to finding a profitable edge, building a mechanical trading plan, mastering your psychology, passing your funded challenge. And these are all the subcomponents that go towards that ultimate goal. And this is where you start to build momentum. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill, It starts to collect more and more snow, and because the mass increases, it moves at a greater force and it builds momentum. That's what you do when you focus on these high priority actions every single day. You build momentum. And then your focus becomes on executing the high priority actions every day. And of course, there's going to be certain points of friction that come in, certain challenges that you have to face, which, if you focus on now friction removal, you can start to remove those areas of friction so you can build momentum. It's always wise to ask yourself with foresight, what challenges do I foresee? What problems do I see popping up? And writing those down and then figuring out, all right, what can I do right now? What action steps can I do right now to lower the probability of that challenge coming through? And if that challenge does come through, what can I do to lower the impact of me being impacted by that challenge? And what you're doing here is you're planning contingencies for the things that can go wrong, and you're putting things in place to be unaffected by those particular challenges. This helps you remove friction. It's also important to understand what causes friction. Well, unrealistic expectations cause friction. If you're dedicated to going to work and generating income and building wealth to provide for your family, then it's kind of unrealistic for you to set an expectation on yourself that you want to go off and become a great captain of a big ship that sails around the world. And it just there's a mismatch in between what you're dedicated to and this idea in your mind. So if you set an unrealistic expectation on yourself to live outside what your life demonstrates is truly important to you, there's going to be friction. If you also expect yourself to be one-sided and only be successful and only build momentum without challenges, without drawbacks, without friction, without taking energy outside of some sort of relationships or some areas of social life and taking that energy from somewhere else and having a certain area of your life not perform as well, then you're setting unrealistic expectations on yourself to be one-sided. So it's important to have balanced, realistic, two-sided expectations. You're a human being, and also to expect yourself to only perform in areas that are important to you, in areas that your life demonstrate are important to you. It's also unrealistic to set really big goals in very short time frames. So if you're setting too big of a goal in too short of a time frame, then you're going to put too much on your plate, and when you don't meet that target, you're going to devalue yourself. So you want to be careful of what time frames you set on what goals as well, and set realistic time frames on goals that are aligned to what's important to you. Now, the other things that cause friction are poor sleep, having high degrees of stress, having a foggy mind because you're not sleeping enough, because you're not getting the correct nutrients, not eating enough of the proper foods. Relationship drama also causes stress. If you're having a lot of tensions in your relationships and you're not effectively communicating to your spouse or to your partner, you don't know what's important to them, you're not meeting their needs, there's going to be tensions. There's going to be unconscious resentment that builds up within them, and that's going to cause tension in the relationships. The neglecting of health and relationships will cause friction in pursuit of your goals. Unrealistic expectations on yourself with your time frames, with how big of a goal, with expecting yourself to be one-sided, with expecting yourself to live outside what is truly important to you. These unrealistic expectations will lead to friction. It will lead to unmet expectations and you feeling devalued. And then also, and probably most importantly, that causes friction on a day-to-day basis is expecting yourself to do low priority tasks. These distractions, things like mowing the lawn, things like taking out the trash, things like potentially even for some of you, cooking every day could be a low priority distraction. So the low priority tasks that you could easily delegate to other people and have other people take care of those, cleaning your house, mowing your lawn. These are tasks that you can pay other people a nominal amount, small amount of money, and they can cover that task so you can focus on priority. So you want to identify what these low priority tasks are that you engage in, figure out ways to delegate or even delete them if you can, and this will help clear up your focus so you can focus on building momentum in the areas that are important to you, that are valuable to you, and focused on high priority and high profitability results. And if you do this, what you'll find is that you no longer need motivation. You're now intrinsically inspired to go off and do what you do because you've got a valuable goal that you're pursuing. You've got a clear roadmap and a clear strategy to get there. And you're not expecting yourself to do all these low priority things and low priority distractions, but you start to build significant momentum.